Well, hello, crafty friends. We are back here in the Spellbinders studio. Super excited to be here today. I am Kim Kesty, and I'm with
Josie Cerncione.
Yay! So we are here to do our club along. So club along this time is May and June.
June, yes.
2 months of club along. We're going to share all kinds of fun projects with you. Of course, we're not here by ourselves.
No, we have Yana and Sarah with us today.
Absolutely. So Sarah, this is our first time to welcome Sarah from across the pond, I guess you say.
She's from my hometown. No, my home country, I should say.
Your home country.
Yes.
All right. Where is it?
The UK.
The UK, yes,
Yeah.
England. So cool. We're going to have Sarah crafting with us. So first we're going to have Yana, then we're going to have Sarah. But to start you off, I feel like we should maybe do a little rundown on May. Okay, before we do, though, I want to share one special thing with you because we've got a coupon code that's coming up, and it's for super, super limited time. So you guys, we'll put some extra, information in the chat as you guys are watching along, whether you're watching live or in on the pre-record. Limited time, you guys, we are having 20% off your entire order. So see that button in the corner? It says live offer today only. So this is a very short window to have this fun little 20% off code. And there are terms and conditions. Unfortunately, you cannot layer it with your club discount. Like, you can't have both.
No.
But this is good. This is better than your club discount in most cases. So.
And it is it site-wide? I don't remember.
I think site-wide.
Yeah, it is site-wide.
Got our moderator over going, yes. So super excited. We're super happy to be able to share this with you. And it's really all about, the purpose of Club Along is to get you crafting with your clubs that you have. Look forward to the ones you're getting in the mail soon. So as you are seeing these projects being made, you might see some little things. You're like, oh, I want that, or maybe I should stock up on Cardstock, or maybe I should finally try those scissors.
Or different inks and brushes,
so we just wanted to give you this little discount as we go along, as we craft. So maybe grab a little notebook, take some notes, I don't know. Make your wish list. So we're super excited to share that with you. So we'll pop that up toward the end of the show again too. So you guys don't have to try to memorize those terms and conditions, but you could do a screenshot.
Yeah,
that's
and I'm sure
clever.
Skylar will put it in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, we're talking about May and June today. May you guys have all had. You've kind of had that for a few weeks already. June, probably a lot of you have. Some of you might just be getting it soon as we kind of get into it. Oh, we're popping it up again. No, it's okay. I said screenshot, so I was like, okay, put it up. I want to take a screenshot. So again, covers both months, but the 2 months really go together, right,
They do,
Josie?
yes.
Yeah.
One starts with prepping for your summer vacation, and the other is where you're going to go on your summer vacation.
Right.
So should we go ahead and jump
Yeah, let's jump into May Club. So
right.
it's kind of dipping your toes into summer.
Yes.
This one's called Hello Summer. So let's just do a brief rundown of May clubs. And of course, this is the all clubs crate. You're going to see all the clubs that we had for May.
Yeah,
so.
and Yana's going to be crafting with May clubs.
She is, yeah.
Yes. So we're going to jump right into the small die of the month, and this one is called Ready to Roll, and it's just this adorable little rolling suitcase where people are getting ready to pack.
It's like the classic getting ready for summer.
Yes.
Love it.
And you have your little pets that are, running in and out and rummaging through your clothes and all that. So it comes with a lot of cute little things. You've got some clothes, you got a little passport,
Oh my gosh, love.
Really cute stuff. And then this is the 3D folder, and there we have the 2D folder, actually 3D folder from March Clubs.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I
Love
thought
the crossovers.
Yeah, I thought the map would be fun to pair with traveling.
And you guys who have been members of the clubs for a long time know that so many things are available to mix and match and work together. And if you're new to clubs, well, you're going to be learning all about it.
Yeah. And next we have the large die, and the large die is called Pop of Summer. And it's just this fun, colorful soda pop can or flavored water can, which is super, super popular.
Yes.
And everyone loves our birds, and I couldn't resist doing this little bird. He's so happy and so cute and just...
He's smiling so big his eyes are closed.
Yes, I just love him.
So cute.
That's
and this large die has so many fun things. Like, you could just go nuts with that. And I actually think Sarah, when she crafts later, we're going to show a couple extra projects where she has absolutely had fun with some of these clubs too. So it'll be great.
Next we have the Stitch die, and this is called Stitch Sunshine. And it creates this great burst of rays. And the great thing about this, the way this is designed, you can use the sun on its own.
Yep.
You can use the stitch portion on its own, and you can also create an aperture. with the
yeah,
stitching
'cause
on the
this cuts
outside.
out
Yeah,
in the
because
middle.
this cuts out in the middle.
Ooh,
So you can
cool.
do a few different things just with this die. So even though this has the sun, it's still an evergreen die if you don't use the sun.
Right, perfect. Cute. And I've seen a lot of, by the way, this is a reminder to check us out on social media and follow us, because so many crafters post their projects, and it's so fun to see. I've seen so many cute ones with this die.
Yeah, and I love how people have just been using the face of the sun.
Yeah. So stitch die, check.
Yes, next we have the butter press, and this is called Up and Away, and it's just this fun, I was going to say water balloon, but it's
She's got summer on her mind.
Summer's on my mind. It's air balloons, which we have the pleasure of seeing on our drive to work. Not in the summer, but like in the spring and the fall.
Yeah.
They're everywhere in the morning when we come to work, and it's so colorful up in the sky. And look how fun this is, just all colored.
So pretty.
Yeah.
And reminder that this, of course, is pressed and foiled. So you see it pressed here, and you see it on the packaging foiled. There might be another project foiled. We'll see. But you can use these plates on both. So just your reminder.
And you do get 3 sentiments with this, and the sentiments are a one and done plate, which we love to do, where you just glimmer or better press it once and then cut it all at once.
That's cool.
So there's that.
I didn't realize that was a one and done. Love it.
Next we have the stamp and die. And the stamp set is called Burst of Summer. And a lot of times what we do with our stamp sets, it supports all the clubs.
Right.
So that's, a lot of times that's what we do with the sentiment set. So you get a lot of different sentiments with different themes for all the different dies.
And as you mentioned, they have the matching dies. Yep. Comes all in one bundle. Super cool. All right, stamp and die, love.
Yep. Next we have the 3D folder, and this is called Radiant Day, and it's just this beautiful graphic of this sun.
It's cool.
It's just fun.
It always gives a hint of a flower, but it's definitely a sun, but it's got that really cool vibe.
Yeah, and here we have just the little bird, and these are the flowers from the bonus item.
Cool. He's got his little sunglasses. That's hilarious.
That's from the dog.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
So that's mixing 3 of the sets together. Next we have the 2D folder, and this is called Poolside, and look how cool that is.
I love this one.
I know, they colored it, they did an inked background, but then they took white and rubbed white just on that top layer, and it really does look like you're looking through water at that pool tile, and you see the movement of the water and the distortion of the tile, and especially with just kind of those little things kind of scattered on top.
So
it's
cute.
really fun.
Love it. So 2D folder, wow.
Yeah.
It almost looks 3D for sure.
It does, the way that one's designed and put together. And next we have the stencil, and this is called Dots of Summer. Like, who doesn't love just a fun dot? Again, this is just an evergreen. It's 5 layers, and you can use this all year round.
Yes. I want a summer dress with all the dots. Like, yeah,
that would be
give
fun.
me it. Love it.
Polka dots never go out of style, do they?
Never.
All right, so the next things that we're going to pull out of the crate are...
Ooh, the bonus
items.
items. Nice.
So you get, if you get the crate, you get 3 bonus items. You get a die or a better press plate.
I'm just going to turn this around. So yeah, we call it the crate exclusive. So yeah, it's only can get it in the crate.
And this month we did this die. I wanted to do, it's the 240th birthday of the United States, so I kind of wanted to do something patriotic, but you can use this without the flag, and you can take the hat, the stars out of the hat the way it's designed, and you can do something for New Year's, you can do something for the 4th of July, you can do something just for any sort of celebration, so it doesn't have to be 4th of July or, you know, America specific. You can change it up easily by just changing the colors and using the elements in a different way. So this is the crate exclusive. And then the bonus, which you've never done, I did a 3D folder for the bonus.
That was so clever.
Because I wanted to do kind of a fireworks bursting stars and everything. And again, this can be used all year round.
Oh, for sure.
Birthday, New Year's, any sort of celebration. Graduation, anything. And so that's the bonus item. So it's crate exclusive bonus item. And then you also get 10 sheets of paper.
Yes.
And we call this our Creative Spark Pack. And so the way that we come up with this pack is I just pick 10 colors that we've used to do the projects that we do for packaging and the step outs, just to give you guys a taste.
Kind of see even there where it kind of gives you a little taste.
Oh,
that's
a
good one.
Yeah,
a taste of summer.
Yeah, a taste of summer with our paper.
Love.
And so, should we bring everything back in?
Yes, let's just bring it back in because we're going to get all prepped up to have Miss Yana
Yeah.
pop in and give us some lovely tutorials. I always love watching her.
I know. I don't even know what Yana's using, so it'll be a nice surprise.
It'll be a
to
super
see what
surprise.
she's doing.
Yeah. All right, cool. So you guys have seen the May Club preview, or review, I guess, review. And now we're going to have Yana, who's actually pre-recorded a video for us, because we're kind of trying Club Along a little bit later in the day. You guys have to give us a little shout out on kind of what's your favorite time to watch Club Along. But it is pretty late where Yana is.
Yes, she's in Ukraine, so it's very late for her.
So we're not going to bring her in live. She might be in the comments. I'm not sure. We'll see if she's sleepyhead or if she's awake or not. But she pre-recorded a lovely video. So why don't we go ahead and jump right into that and then enjoy Yana's video, and then we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Hello friends, I'm Yana Smakula. Thank you so much for joining us for the Spellbinders May-June 2026 Club Along event. I'm here with the May clubs, and I have a fun technique to share with you. It's not new. It's a technique that shows you how to alter your die cuts to have a different look. Now, because this month in June, Spellbinders is celebrating their 23rd birthday, and because there's a really cool die set that is offered as a free gift with purchase on qualifying orders. You have to spend $150 or more before taxes and shipping. Make sure you read the terms and conditions to make sure you qualify for the free die set. Sir Spelly. I wanted to incorporate Sir Spelly into my card. Now, if you don't have Sir Spelly, don't worry, you can recreate this look with many other monster dies you have in your stash, or, other monster dies from Spellbinders or other critter dies that you possibly have. You don't have to use just Sir Spelly, although he is super duper adorable. Now, something I want to mention, and we mentioned this already, but this video is pre-recorded. I wish I could go live with you, but just for the sake of, technology and making sure that everything works, we pre-record this video and we run it as if it is live, but it's not live. So if you have a question, I won't be answering it live in this video. Instead, I'm right there in the comments with you, so I will answer your question in the comment. And please don't hesitate to ask questions. I'm happy to chat with you. I'm happy to, have fun and chit-chat. Okay, let's go ahead and switch to the overhead camera, and I will show you the card we're making. So this is a look at the project we will be creating in today's video. This is a larger 5x7 card. I have been really into 5x7 cards lately. I feel like they just give me a lot more room. It's like a bigger canvas, to paint a bigger picture. So this is a 5x7. This is also a top folding card. I have been enjoying top folding cards too, because, well, they just stand better on your desk or on the recipient's desk. So let's look at the die sets we are using to make this cute little card. First of all, we have the large die of the month. I have my dies right here. So the large die of the month from May 2026. And this die set creates the adorable soda can. And you also have a whole bunch of other bits and pieces to decorate your soda can and, make it work for different occasions. I do have some cards that I have created previously, and I have shared them on my personal YouTube channel, and you're welcome to pop over to my YouTube channel to check them out for more inspiration. I also have a video tutorial on the Spellbinders channel, the regular club videos, so be sure to check that too for more ideas with this die set. So here is a look at my first card with the large die of the month. I have the soda can here decorated with the flower and additional die cuts from this set. This card also features the clear stamp and die of the month, along with the 2D, or maybe this is the 3D, I can't remember, folder from May Club Kits. Here is another card that I made, and this one's interactive because it lights up. If you press the button here, it adds a little bit of ambient lighting to the pool. So I have this pool created in the background of my card, and you know how during these summer days, if you're by the pool in the evening, the pool has beautiful ambient lighting. So this is what I wanted to create on this card, and that's the feeling that I wanted to convey with this project. Super fun. Oh, by the way, this one's using also the large die, of course, and then I have the 2D embossing folder in the background to create the pool, and then I just used an oval die to die cut the pool opening, and of course I finished this card by adding a sentiment created with a stamp and die for May. And then last but not least, I really love to do color blocking, and so for this card I have 4 sections with 4 different colored soda cans, each decorated differently. I did bring an additional die set from my stash to create some of these elements, like the little lemons here and the lemons here, and also the strawberries. So again, I do have a video on my personal YouTube channel taking a closer look at these cards, so you can check that out after the club along if you'd like to learn more. Now, this is a look at the card we will be making in this video. It's fun and bright and cheerful. And as you can tell, the soda can is much, much larger. It is much taller. In fact, this is the die that creates the soda can. And you can tell that it makes a soda can that is much shorter. In fact, that's the actual size. So I wanted to extend this die cut and create a tall soda can to, well, first of all, have a full-size soda can on my card. Also, I wanted to be able to fit a sentiment on this card. I wanted this to say happy birthday because, again, it's Spellbinders' birthday. And I also wanted to add a decorative pattern to my soda can to add a little bit of character. I didn't want the soda can to be just a colored can, although you can absolutely make this a colored soda can. You can also cut this from patterned paper to add some pattern, but I wanted to create my own pattern using the watermelon slices dies that are included in the large die of the month. And then of course we have the cutest Sir Spelly here. Like I said, the Sir Spelly is a free die set for June. Make sure you read the terms and conditions because it's a free die set with qualifying orders. And here is another card that I have with Sir Spelly. I have a video for this on my personal YouTube channel, but I just wanted to share this card, show you this card in case you wanted to see more inspiration with the darling Sir Spelly. Now, to decorate Sir Spelly, I also brought in one more die set from my stash. It's an older set, and I'm trying to find it on my desk now, and I'm really not finding. Oh no, here it is. So it's the die set with glasses. It is this one. It's the Smart Glasses die set. This has been out for quite some time. And these glasses were first designed to go well or to go together with the beautiful monsters. And like I said, if you don't have Sir Spelly, check your stash to see if you have those cute monsters because you can have the monsters pop out of the soda can bottle just like I have Sir Spelly here. So now that we've gone over all of the dies, all of the tools that we will be needing to create this project, let's go ahead and get started. Let me move my card out of the way. I'm also going to move these dies out of the way because I don't need them. I did all of my die cutting ahead of time, except for the soda can. The soda can is something that I want to cut on camera. I have already cut the silver piece. It's this one that you see here in the back. So the silver piece does not require any partial die cutting or creative die cutting. This one is one and done. So just cut this from silver cardstock. I used one of the Spellbinders silver papers from the Treasured Silver Cardstock pack. Beautiful. And then I also have this die. So this one is what cuts the actual soda can front, and this is what we will use to cut the soda can. So I already have a piece of cardstock here. This is the Spellbinders Wildberry cardstock, and I'm going to place my die on my paper, try and make sure this is as straight as possible. Grab some Vegetable Craft tape, tape it in place. I don't want this to move. Okay, so this looks good. Maybe add another piece of tape just to be, extra sure. And next, to do my die cutting today, I'm going to use my Platinum Scout die cutting machine. Usually I use my Platinum 6, but Platinum Scout takes a lot less room on my desk, and I have a cluttered desk. So to minimize the amount of things I have here, I'm going to go with a smaller machine, but you can cut this. You can do this technique, you can do this trick in any die cutting machine you own. The idea here, when you do partial die cutting, when you do creative die cutting, is to cover your top die only partially with the top cutting plate. So here I have my plates. I have my usual sandwich for the Platinum machines or for the Spellbinders machines. I have my platform base. I have my platform top. I have my cutting plate, C cutting plate. You can see that I've cut into this plate quite a lot already. I then have my paper with the die. The top edge of the die is at the top here, and the bottom edge is right here. This is important because I want to extend this die cut further down, right? So my bottom can edge is right here. I'm going to place my top cutting plate over my die, but not all the way. So I'm trying not to cover that bottom edge of my die. So hopefully you can see this. I would say I'm about, I don't know, like no more than a 1/4 inch away from the edge of my die. Now let's go ahead and send this through the machine. Okay, like so. So just send this through. Quick and easy. See, this is why I love Platinum Scout. It's so nice and tiny. Takes hardly any room on my desk. Okay, and now let's take a look. So when I flip it to the back, you can see that I've created the cut, but I've created a partial cut. I can now remove my die, and this is what it looks like. Super simple, super easy. I'm next going to use my scissors and trim this cardstock, get rid of this extra cardstock. And next, you could technically use your die and continue to do the partial die cutting, but that would be a little bit too complicated. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to grab my paper trimmer and trim the paper on the sides here to make my tall soda can. I have my Spellbinders paper trimmer, and I have this fun trick that I have been using to create die cuts, like have a straight edge to my die cut. So what I do is I place my paper onto another piece of paper, and I make sure that it's nice and straight at the top here. I then use a little bit of tape, just something, any low-tech tape to hold this in place. And next I'm going to use this as a holder, slide this inside my paper trimmer, make sure it's nice and aligned, and trim. The reason I do it this way, the reason I add this extra cardstock is because the top of the soda can is curved. And there are only 2 points here, right? 2 high points that can butt up against this edge. Now, the second point, there's no edge right there. So the second point has nothing to butt up against. And because of that, I might cut this slightly crooked. So to make sure this is nice and straight, I tape it onto another piece of paper, make sure everything is nice and straight, and then I cut. See? Simple. I might need to adjust this cut just a teeny tiny bit, but this way I am much more confident in my cut, and I know that this is going to be cut nicely. So let's repeat this one more time. I am now flipping my die cut to the other side, once again making sure it is nice and straight, taping it down, and trimming this. If you hear some weird noise in the background, that's my kitties. There's a fly in my living room / craft room, and they're now trying to catch it. So they're running around, jumping on the couch and everywhere, trying to catch that fly. And of course, they will not rest until they do. So bear with me as they run around. So we have our soda can created. Now this is a little bit too tall. I don't need this to be as tall, although you can make this as tall or as short as you want to. I'm going to shorten this because first of all, I want to fit this on a 5x7 card base. And second of all, I also want to make sure I have room for Sir Spelly at the top. So this is going to be about this tall. I'm going to use a pencil and mark the bottom of my soda can. Go back to my paper trimmer and trim this. So now this is how tall my soda can is going to be. Next, you can tell that I have a fun sentiment here. You know, soda cans or any can usually comes with some sort of writing. And I thought it would be nice to incorporate a sentiment directly onto my soda can. I remembered the fun Better Press sentiment from March. So this is the March Better Press of the month. And this one includes the birthday plate and wishes plate. It also includes a whole bunch of other sentiments or words done in the same style and font. So you can have your soda can say anything else, or, you know, do a different sentiment if you want, but this is what I'm going to do. So I have my Glimmer hot foil system off to the side. It is heating up, but I'm first going to attach my sentiments in place. So I'm placing the word birthday, and then I'm placing the word wishes. I'm lining them up on my soda can die cut, doing, you know, lining them up the best I can. Next, going to grab my Best Ever craft tape. First of all, tape the two together so that they stay together, and then take another piece of Best Ever craft tape and tape them to my die cut so that I can create a hinge, just like so. Very easy. This is how I usually foil. I will always tape my foil plates onto my paper to create a hinge. Next, I have the Spellbinders white opaque foil. This is my favorite foil color along with the black foil, and you can totally do a black sentiment here if you want. You could even do pink for some tone-on-tone foiling. That would look really fun. I wanted to do white, and you know what? In fact, I'm thinking, what if I did black? Should I or should I not? You know what? I'm not going to do black. I'm just going to go with what I decided on to begin with. By the way, I used the Spellbinder shears to slice through my foil. I feel like I mentioned this in every video when I do foiling, but people are still surprised, so I want to mention this once again. I have a dedicated pair of scissors to cut foil, and these scissors, they live in my foil drawer. I have them marked with Best Ever craft tape, and I know that these scissors can be used only for cutting foil. There's nothing else that I use these scissors for. So just a little hint for you. I'm next going to slide my foil in place and then flip the plates back into their original position, like so, and now I'm ready to foil. So here is my Glimmer hot foil system. Going to place the paper with the plates and the foil on Glimmer, press the timer button, grab my Glimmer plates, and next we just need to wait for 1 minute for Glimmer to do its job, warm up the plate, and then I will take this out and send this through my Platinum 6 die cutting and embossing machine, which is sitting off to the side on another desk. And here we go. We have foiled this. Now let's take a look at our sentiment and make sure it's nice and perfect. And yes, it is. Love it. We have the beautiful birthday wishes sentiment. I now can switch my Glimmer Hot Foil system off. It is getting hot here, so I don't want this running, you know, for no reason, because it's already quite hot in my craft room. I do have my air conditioning running as well, so you actually might hear some noise in the background because of that. And I'm sure it's hot in your neck of the woods as well. By the way, let me know where you guys are from. Where are you watching from? Is it hot yet? Is it summer, or is it still very cold? Let me know. I would love to know. So here I have that other part of the soda can, and now I can simply layer one piece on top of the other, like so, to create my soda can. Now, because this particular die cut is a little, it's glossy paper basically, and glue takes a lot longer to dry on this kind of paper, I'm just going to use double-sided tape to glue the pieces together. This way I don't have to wait for the glue to dry. And there we have our fun little soda can. Now, like I said, I wanted to add some embellishments to this soda can, and I wanted to create a fun pattern that you can make using the die cuts in the large die of the month. And there are different die cuts. I opted to go with the watermelon die cut. I've already cut all of the pieces out because I'm pretty sure you don't want to watch me cut all of these. It would take quite some time, but now that I have all the pieces cut out, we can go ahead and begin assembling our die cuts. Now, I do have a couple of tools here, and I feel that these are essential tools when it comes to putting these die cuts together, because there are a lot of parts and pieces, you know, like a little elements. So I love to use tweezers, and these are reverse tweezers, very handy. And I also have this other tool. This is like the pickup tool. It has a wax tip, and this allows me to pick up the pieces and move them and manipulate them if I need to. So very handy tools. So make sure you grab yourself a pair of tools when you work with little die cuts, because that's going to make your job so much easier. Okay, I have die cut these watermelons from 2 shades of red. I use the Spellbinders Poppy, which is the lighter red, and I also use the Spellbinders Cranberry, which is the darker red. I wanted to have like different kinds of watermelon to add a little bit of variety to my pattern. Otherwise, it would kind of look, or start to look, too identical. So this is the first watermelon with the darker red. I also have black cardstock that I used for the background here. And the way Josie designed this die, brilliant, really. You just add this backer piece from the back of your watermelon, and then you have yourself the watermelon seeds. Isn't that clever? Oh my gosh. Josie, you always do such a great job when you design dies. Thank you for making it very easy for us to create beautiful multicolored die cuts in no time. Okay, and then to create the skin, I guess that's what you call it, the skin of the watermelon, I used the lighter green peridot and the darker green fern to cut this, and you can see how easy it is to assemble these two pieces. And by the way, I am using glue. This is the Spellbinders, not the Spellbinders, apologies, the Barely Art glue. And I love this glue because of the fine tip nozzle. I can add just a teeny tiny bit of glue, and I hardly ever have glue oozing out from the sides of my die cuts. So we're going to go ahead and create the watermelons and add them onto our soda can. Through magic of pre-recorded video, I have assembled all the watermelon slices, and I now have them placed on my soda can. I also have one more because this is going to go into Sir Spelly's mouth because he wants to eat one. So I'm going to set this one aside for now. Now, when I'm building a pattern on the soda can, the best way to do this is to have some of your die cuts, whether these are watermelons or other die cuts, is to have them go past the edge of your main die cut. This way, it's going to look like was cropped from a separate pattern, like it was a continuous pattern, and you came in, with your soda can die and you cropped it, or like the pattern just wraps around your soda cans. This is my trick. This is what I like to do. And now that I have placed all of these on the soda can, I have figured out the placement. By the way, it's not exactly the same as on my other soda can. I'm just going to use glue and glue these pieces in place. Now, this is going to be quite dimensional because in some of these areas, there is 4 layers of cardstock, but that's okay. We'll just have to work with what we have. And you can see I'm using tweezers, reverse tweezers, to hold my die cuts while I'm adding glue. And this, again, is really, really helpful. I also have magnets. I'm working on a magnetic glass mat. And I'm using magnets to, well, first of all, hold my soda can die cut in place, but also to press down onto the pieces while the glue is drying. If you do not have a magnetic glass mat like this, you can, still work on a regular mat and maybe tape your die cut in place using low-tack tape, and then place some paper weights on top while the glue is drying. So lots you can do. You don't have to have these exact tools if you don't have them. Okay, so we're down to the last one. And I'm just going to glue this one like so. While the glue is drying, I also have additional pieces that I cut, and I used the flower die. We will be adding this to our card as well. But as I was cutting the flower dies, I noticed these cool looking flower centers. I decided I would save them, and I decided I would add them onto my soda can like additional design elements. So like this, for example, see, you can like add them to your soda can in fun areas, you can use them to help fill any gaps that you have in your background, and they just add a cool little unexpected element to your soda can. And you can use other die cuts in the same way to fill the background in. So next, let me grab my scissors. Here I have my other pair of the Spellbinders shears. Notice I don't have the best ever craft tape here because, well, these are my paper shears. I can use them to cut paper, and I'm just going to trim all of these extra watermelon slices so that I have a nice and clean edge to my soda can. Okay, just like this. And if you need to, if it makes sense, you could also use these like little leftover bits to fill in any additional gaps that you might have on your pattern. So maybe I add like this slightly larger piece to the very top here. Kind of feel like it makes sense. Now I also used a white pen, Jelly Roll pen from Sakura, 0.5 size, to add a little white dots to the background, and this also helped add interest to my soda can. So we're not only making a card, we're not only creating a pattern on a card or, a focal point on a card, we're also decorating the soda can. And this is what I wanted to empower you to do in this video. I wanted you to grab your soda can die cut. First of all, use the partial die cutting technique to make a bigger soda can, and then use other die cuts that you have, maybe from this large die of the month, or maybe any other die cuts that you have in your stash, or it can be stamps. You can also use a stencil from May Clubs if you have that one. It's the fun pattern with the little dots. You can stencil the multicolored dots onto your soda can. So lots and lots you can do. And if you're needing inspiration, I would encourage you to go onto Pinterest and then just type soda can illustration. And you can see so many different soda can ideas, like soda can wraps. I find it very inspiring and I find it cool. And I want to recreate that on my soda cans, on my cards. Okay, we have this done. So our soda can is now finished. Next, we need to put together our Sir Spelly. Here I have the die cut pieces for Sir Spelly. By the way, I'm using my Spellbinders craft stacks. These are the small stacks or the medium-sized stacks. And I also have the magnetic inserts to help me hold the die cuts, well, the dies, not the die cuts, help me hold the dies in place. And this is super, super handy and convenient. And if you haven't yet checked out the craft stacks, be sure to check them out. They're like the best craft room organization tool, at least, I mean, for me, because I try and store my most used Spellbinders dies in craft stacks. I have them labeled, and this is just so, so convenient. Okay, as I was chatting, I already made a mistake, and please don't make the same mistake as I did. So let's start over. Here I have my Sir Spelly die pieces cut from different colors of cardstock. I have fawn for the background, and then I have also these lighter, like blush colored die cuts, and these are cut from blush cardstock. I do have two pieces for like his mouth, and I'm going to glue them together. And before I glue them onto the main die cut, I'm going to show you a little trick. So I want, first of all, we need to add the teeth. And this is the little piece that you use for the teeth. Very clever. Again, Josie does such a great job when she designs these. So I've glued the teeth. And before adding this onto my card, I'm only going to add glue to the top part of this die cut. Why? Well, because I want to be able to lift his like top jaw and slide things inside. I'm going to be sliding the watermelon slice. Here on the other card that I made, I have a little envelope here and then also a flower here. So you can slide little things for them to hold. And let's go ahead and quickly assemble the rest of the die cut. It's very easy to do. I'm not going to focus too much on this, but I just wanted to show you that you can use other dies in your stash and really add character to your projects. Mix and match. It's always fun to mix and match and find new ways to use the pieces or the dies or the stamps, whatever it is that you already have in your stash, and, you know, come up with new stories to tell with the same products. Okay, I also have this piece for the eyes, which is again expertly designed because you have the black, the white, and then you just pop these two layers, or like this one piece once assembled from the back, and you have your fun eyes for Sir Spelly. By the way, I keep calling him Sir Spelly, but the official name is the Party Time Dragon. That's the official name that you will find on the Spellbinders website. Okay, and now let's just add this final part. Oops. And there we go. Our Sir Spelly is ready. And he can go on top of our soda can like so. Isn't that cute? Okay, we have just a few more pieces to assemble before we start putting the card together. I have found that other watermelon slice and just going to insert it like so. And see, it looks like he's eating and really enjoying. Next, we have the little umbrella to assemble, and I've cut the umbrella from, you have 3 pieces to assemble the umbrella, and you can make it multicolor, you can make it tone on tone, whatever you prefer. I've cut the umbrella itself, the main piece, from white cardstock. I also have the top of the umbrella cut from poppy, so it's that light red or lighter red that I used for some of the watermelon slices. And then I have this top piece, again, cut from cranberry. This is the same darker red that I have been using for the other watermelons. And then we also have the straw, which is so cute and so clever. And I cut the straw, again, from poppy. And then I have the white detail, or the detail piece, cut from white cardstock. And you just add glue and layer the two pieces to create a beautiful stripy straw for your soda can. Isn't that clever? Oh, I love it. Okay, so here is my straw. I also have other pieces that I have already assembled. So I have a couple of flowers and I've die cut a couple of leaves, and we will be needing those to embellish the background of our card once we have the soda can in place. Before we do that, let's go ahead and make a card base for our card. And like I said, this is a 5x7 card. So right now I have two pieces. This is 5 by 8.5. Both of these are 5 by 8.5 inches. So this is almost a letter sheet, right? I do have like a little scrap of paper here. What you want to do next is take one piece and bring this to your multi-purpose scoring board and score this at, I would say, about an inch. So inch at the top. So go ahead and score this, fold along the score line. You can set your scoring board aside. Next, slide this piece inside, like so. So we have the two pieces, slide one inside, and then add glue onto the flap from the inside. I know this is kind of weird. It doesn't make sense, but it will all make sense to you in just a second. So close the flap and glue the two pieces together. So now this is what our pieces look like. It looks weird, I know. So this is 5 inches wide by probably 8.5 inches long. We're going to trim this in just a little bit, but bear with me. So we have this seam here. I don't like it, and I'm going to cover this seam by another panel. So I have a panel cut to 5x7. I'm going to use glue and glue this panel on top. Make sure everything is nice and centered. Okay. Once I'm happy with how everything is, I'm going to take my paper trimmer and then trim all of this extra cardstock. So I know that this is already 5x7, so I just need to line it up with the edge of this light blue cardstock. By the way, I did not give you a name of this. I believe this is sea foam, but let me double check. No, seaside, sorry. There's no sea foam. I get confused. Okay, and now we have our card base created. So now we have a 5x7 top folding card base. When you open it, you don't see the seam here because the seam is covered by this front panel. Very easy. You don't have to to make your card this way, but I don't know. It kind of looks better this way. At least I like it better this way. So next we're going to use foam adhesive, and lots of it. I do love to use a lot of foam adhesive to foam mount all of our elements in place. Let's start with the soda can bottle, or the soda can. It's not a bottle, it's a can. Just going to add a generous amount of foam adhesive squares. I'm trying not to add squares right next to the edge because I know I will be tucking some additional elements behind my can, so I won't be able to do that, and that's why I'm leaving a little bit of room from the edge. Okay, I'm going to line my card base up on my work surface so that I can see where the center is, and then I'm going to pop my soda can in the center, like so. Perfect. Next, we are going to add Sir Spelly. Again, using foam adhesive squares here. So just adding him on top. Okay, perfect. I also have the umbrella. Going to add that here on the right-hand side and tuck it under, kind of like under his wing. So it looks like he is holding the umbrella. And then we have the straw. I do need to shorten this just a little bit to make sure I can tuck it just the right amount. And going to use the foam strip to foam mount the straw. I wanted to record pretty much the entire process of how I created this card, just in case you guys wanted to follow along. I know many of you like to watch, but I know that some of you also like to craft along. So this is why I filmed this the way I did. Okay, next I'm going to take some of these flowers, and these are also included in the kit. They're from the kit. I'm going to slice them in half, like so, and I'm going to tuck them behind the soda can to add a little bit of color, a little bit of movement, a little bit of something fun to the background of my card. You can definitely leave it as is. You could also use an embossing folder. You could use a stencil. There's lots you can do, but I wanted to add some florals to the background to, you know, be able to use the additional die cuts from the large die of the month to embellish this card. So here I have my parts and pieces tucked. I have the flowers tucked. Okay. So I'm adding 5 flowers to have an odd number. You could add more, you can add less. You could also use other die cuts that you have in your stash. You don't have to use these exact die cuts. And next, let's switch to the smaller foam squares and foam mount the little leaves. I die cut the leaves from 2 colors of cardstock. And again, these are all exact same cardstock colors that I used previously. I didn't want to use too many different colors. I wanted to have a cohesive color scheme. So these are cut from Peridot and Fern. And there we go. There we have it. So I'm just going to tuck the leaves to fill my background in. And again, through the magic of television and the pre-recorded video, here is a look at my finished card. I tucked quite a lot of leaves in the background. I also embellished the background with the Spellbinders opal gems. These are some of my favorite gems from Spellbinders. I'm trying to find a pack. And of course, oh, there it is. So here is a pack of opal gems. If you have not checked out opal gems before, please do. They're like the most perfect neutral color. They're not exactly white. They're opal. So beautiful, beautiful gem colors. And this is it. This is a look at my top folding 5x7 card featuring some partial die cutting with the Spellbinders May 2026 large die of the month. Thanks so much for sticking with me for this video tutorial, but now I'm excited to go back to the studio to Kim and Josie to see what they have been up to.
Well, thank you so much, Yana, but really thank you. Amazing tutorial.
I know, that was so fun.
Combining that little Sir Spelly, that is just so fun.
I know, and I like the way that you brought back the press-on foil from March.
Yeah,
those big giant sentiments.
Big chunky sentiments. So fun. So yes, thanks Yana for staying commenting. In fact, that reminded me. So we're glad you stayed up later. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We are going to pick winners for those of you who comment too. I mean, I didn't say that earlier. We do that every time we have Club Along.
Yeah,
but
we have 3 winners.
Just a reminder. Yeah, we are going to pick, but not till after the next video. But,
yeah.
But thanks for commenting. You guys are so chatty on there. I love. We kind of sneak over there when Yana's, having her video, and check out the comments. So you guys are having a blast. I love it. So May, check. So fun.
So,
now we're going to do a quick preview of June, and then we're going to roll into Sarah's video. So sit tight, folks. You're going to absolutely love what Sarah's going to bring to us. But let's have a quick preview of June.
Yes.
This is called
Aloha Greetings.
Aloha Greetings. So we dipped our toes in summer, and now we're ready to dive right in.
And in no particular order, I kind of mixed it up. I'm starting with the stitch die, and this is called Luau Beats.
So
Look
fun.
how fun. You can't go to Hawaii without going to a luau.
For sure.
So we did more like a traditional drum, we did a little ukulele, and then we did some stitching on the leaves. And again,
So cute.
these look fantastic without the stitching, so you can do it either way.
Yeah. And I love this little detail on this guy. I mean, you're seeing it here in the die, but it kind of just builds itself, that great pattern.
Yeah, that's kind of like
So
our
cute.
kaleidoscope dies, which
Yeah.
we haven't done in a while, but it's kind
True.
of building it from the back, so you get those different layers of color that create a pattern.
So fun. And the ukulele to die
know,
for.
so cute. All right, the next one that we have is the small die, and this is called Mahalo Stitcher.
Blah, blah, blah.
So I made a little
Look how
shaker card with that.
cute.
So you get this piece that you can create an aperture.
Love it.
Or you can use it with the outside rim die and create a topper piece. So there's a few different things that you can do with that, and you also get the sentiment, and you get this adorable little sea turtle.
Oh, the little sea turtle.
Yeah.
I can just see a whole card like with multiple sea turtles
Yeah.
just frolicking around.
And again, if
And
you
this
guys,
would be cute for really any kind of water thing,
or-
even
yeah,
without the turtle.
Without the turtle,
Yeah.
you can use it again. This is you can use these with anything, and that's what's great about the clubs. They cross over with other clubs, but also our core dies that we do releases with every month.
Absolutely. And we are reviewing the All Clubs crate, which did sell out this month. So if y'all got one, I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad you did. I believe we have quite a few individual clubs still for sale, but
We do.
the full crate is sold
I
out.
know. So if you
Such
guys
a strong design.
if you guys want to get everything that's in the crate with the bonus items and the exclusive item, you have to stay signed up for the crate.
Yeah.
So you don't lose your
the
spot.
best idea.
But we do have the individual clubs still available. And believe it or not, we do not have a tropical floral in Spellbinders.
Yeah?
Yeah. And
Not
so
yet?
this one is
I mean,
called,
we do now.
So this is called Tropical Blooms. And the great thing about this is you can create two different ways. You can do just a card with the blooms, and then you can use these blooms across the whole collection.
For sure.
Or you have Aloha, and you can use the flower as the center for the O and just create this
Oh my
beautiful
gosh,
burst
I love that so much.
of flowers. Yeah.
So pretty. And we
Next.
haven't done a full floral either for a little bit, so I love
No,
that
we
it's
haven't.
just so huge, and this is gonna be a keeper for sure.
Next we have This Way to Rainbows, and this is the stamp and die. And
Cute.
because now we're designing the stamp and die together, it gives me a little bit more freedom to do different
Yep.
things with the die set. And we created this great little signpost that points
So
to
cute.
different ways. And
Just love that detail on those shapes.
yeah, and the sentiments
So
work
great.
within the shapes, or they work on their own. And then you'll see this little guy later, but watch. Look how cute that is.
Oh my gosh, yes, every sentiment you'd ever need, for sure. I was just trying to read on there how many there were. 17 sentiments, that's awesome. Cool, cool.
Next we have the 3D folder, and this one's called Island Style, and it's that traditional, let's see if we can get that traditional Polynesian fabric that you see, there we go, that you see everywhere.
Ooh, so great.
You know, mostly on clothing,
Yeah.
I would say, but that is the 3D folder.
So a little bit of a carved look, kind of, like,
Yeah.
yeah, that whole thing. So
Kind of a little
fun.
tiki vibe going on there.
Right.
And then we have the 2D folder, and this one is called Pineapple Pop.
Pineapple pop.
Yeah, and this is cute, the way that the designer just kind of colored in the pineapples and added just a little bit of green to the top,
Cute.
just to give it a little bit of extra.
It's like Yana's
texture.
watermelon pop.
Yeah.
Now we got pineapple pop. I love how they cross over. I mean, May and June, we said it earlier, but 100% so fun to mix and match those.
Next we have the stencil, and this is called Plumeria Spray, and this is a 5-layer stencil, and just look how beautiful and simple. This
Oh,
is
so
super easy to
pretty.
put together.
I have to say, I've seen so many pretty cards pop up on the internets using the stencil. Absolutely stunning.
Different colors, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next we have the press and foil, and I just wanted to do a big floral, and this one is called Hibiscus Blue. So it's super easy to color. Like you don't really need a stencil to color this in, and have fun and make them all different types of colors. And there is a die that cuts out this edge, so you can pop that up.
Yeah, let's flip that over.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I love when you do that with that kind of edge die.
Just because you can create a different color in the background, and then you get this nice big sentiment.
And I bet Jennifer McGuire would take this and make it so you can like open it with that edge.
Or do something here. Oh, we forgot to show the foil. And the foil it's a matte gold.
Okay, so that goes with that, guys. So pretty. Yeah, a lot of times you'll get a foil. Sometimes you'll get something a little bit different. But press and foil always is fun. It has an extra little kind of treat. Love this. Okay, what you got now?
I have the Crate exclusives.
The exclusives.
Yes. So you get 3 exclusives. I'm going to start with the paper.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, we did kind of a bright palette this month. With all the tropical.
A little bit of the sandy vibe.
Yeah, I had to add that in for the drum, the sand, and different things. But then look at the rest of the colors. They're super bright.
And you guys do know that we give you these Creative Spark packs just to get you addicted to our color wheel cardstock. Because we're all addicted, so we need to have you guys on board. It is gorgeous paper, though. It's 100 pound. It's just die cut so beautifully. We hope you love those Creative Spark packs.
And next we have the exclusive die.
Exclusive die. Let's see.
And this is Aloha Hula.
Oh, she's so great.
So cute. And I have a little card here.
Aww.
Look how
a lot of fun things. The embossing folder, the sentiments, everything.
She comes with a tiki torch, and she comes with on the dashboard. Remember the old school little hula on the dash that would shake? So you got that, and you've got this die to create the ground. And again, you can bring in elements from the other dies to kind of throw in some flowers and some greenery.
So cute. All right. So what was she called again? Aloha Hula. Okay, cute.
And then I think we have my favorite penguin ever, is Penguin in Paradise, and he's just like this little hula-ing penguin. He's so cute.
I have to say, Josie's kind of been addicted to penguins lately.
I do a lot of penguins, but come on, who doesn't love a penguin? You can't have enough penguins in your life.
That is true.
If you need a smile for the day, look at a penguin.
Especially this little arms.
I know,
it's just like
so cute.
I can almost hear the hula Hawaiian music.
I've seen this little penguin on top of the drum. I've seen them like with the hula girl.
Yeah.
I've seen the hula penguin do all sorts of things this month. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so fantastic.
So this is
all right.
Aloha
so there's
Greetings.
Our big old pile of June clubs. And so speaking of June clubs, we are definitely going to bring Sarah's video on board here in a second. Also pre-recorded, but I think Sarah might also be in the wings. We'll see. Again, time difference. It's so late.
I'm
but
pretty sure she's in the UK.
It's pretty cool that it's a nice chance for the artists to interact with you guys. So I love that they're in the comments. So fun. So we're going to kick back and relax and watch Sarah do an amazing video. And then never fear, we're going to be back with a couple more announcements and maybe a sneak peek.
Yeah, and we're going to show more of Sarah's projects after this, too.
We are. That's true. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. She's very talented. We're very excited to have her. So welcome, Sarah, and I will say, take it away.
Hi, Kim. Hi, Josie. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for letting me join the club along this month. I'm really sorry that I can't be there live, but I have got a little video ready. I hope you like it and give it a go. So I'm going to switch the camera around and we'll get started. Okay, so for our first card, we're going to be using the small die of the month, the large die of the month, and the pineapple embossing folder. So I'm going to put the large die to the side for a second and work on this. So what I've done, I've cut a panel which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 in Breeze, and all I've done out of the die set is I've run that through and cut that one out, so you end up with that. Okay, on a piece of holographic, what I did was cut these two together, get it the right way round, cut, so that gives me a panel. Okay, then I've used blue print sketch and just went round the edges really lightly. So put that off my desk. Okay, and then run that through the embossing folder. Lined it up so sort of like half a pineapple was on, or 3/4 of a pineapple was on each side, and run that through. Okay, so that will we'll end up with that. Then I'm going to stick this panel, the holographic, on the top. If I can find the line it up, so that's going to be that one. Okay, so I'm just going to grab some glue. Just little dabs of glue, and then we're going to blot the excess off. So, just on a piece of paper towel, and take the excess off, line that up, and push that down. Okay, so that's our front panel. I've then cut a piece of acetate which is 4 by 5 and added some red liner. So I'm going to take that off. Let's take the carrier off. And we're going to stick that on the back of our panel, like so. And get the bone folder and just give that a good press. That's that. I've then cut a panel in Oceanside, which is the same, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'll take some foam tape. Now this is 2mm foam tape. And we're just going to make our shaker. I'm just going to add another piece there. Another one at the bottom. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my scoreboard. And I'm going to use the scoreboard to line it up. So I'm going to take the release paper off first. And I've just got some sequins just from my stash. That's going to be our shaker element. So not too many. Escaped. And then grab your panel and butt it right up into the corner, and then you can use the corner to line it up. And then we've got our shaker. Okay. Then I'm going to take a A2 card blank and we're going to stick that on. I'm using Kalal glue because it's nice and strong. Just glue this all on the back. Stand up your card and line it up. Okay, there's our little shaker card. Then we get to the fun bit, the decorating. So I've cut a lot of the flowers out ready. I didn't think you'd want to see me die cutting everything. I'm just going to go through the turtle. These eyes there. Okay, and for him I'm literally going to just grab some Rustic Wilderness and we're going to give him a little bit of shade. So, and also his shell, on the back of his shell. Okay, so he's really super easy to put together. And we're going to glue him. Line him up. You line up his feet and everything else will go into place. Then I'm going to grab just some 1mm foam pads on his tummy. There. Then you've got his shell, so it tells you where you can glue up to, if you can see the indent. Just a little bit of glue on there. Line up his shell. Okay, and then you get his eye. So we've got the white bit. I'm just going to put a little bit on the back. His eye. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on my hand because this piece is tiny. And then add his eye. Okay, so that's our little turtle done. I've used holographic on the back, and then I've used dahlia. So that's what I've used for all the pink flowers are with dahlia. Put that to one side for a second. And then we've got our leaves. So these are cut from blue spruce and these are cut from waterfall. And then all I did was a little bit of shading with Uncharted Mariner. Again, the pink flowers, the pink is the dahlia and beeswax, and we used a little picked raspberry. The hibiscus flowers I cut in carrots and used ripe persimmon and the picked raspberry again, just to give them a little bit of shading, but I will show you the one I've done in a second. That flower I've used wild honey, and that's it, I think. Let's just get all the bits out. So they're all the flowers that you need. So they're really nice and easy to put together. So for these ones you need those dies, that piece, and then your stems. That's what creates those flowers there. Then you've got your hibiscus, so you need these pieces, stems, and that's for your center, so you need those. And obviously you've got your leaves. The leaves do have two parts on them, so you can do them two separate colours if you want to, so you can layer the leaves up. I didn't on this occasion. And then obviously you've got that side as well. And then you've got this bigger leaf. That's those. And then for these ones, you have the stem, which you can then cut in, or I did in carrot and in the beeswax. These two parts of the flower, and that's the stems what go with them. So really nice and straightforward. Okay, and we're going to start putting our card together really. So we've got all our elements. So I think we're going to have a flower, that one there, as I didn't put foam on the back of that one. And we're going to lay them out. It's going to go like so. And we're going to have one of those there, those leaves. Our other flower, when we put it together, this one down here, so and we have the turtle there in the middle and the sentiment like so. I'm just going to start sticking all these pieces on. Already added some foam on the back of these. Right. And I've got some different height foam, so we've got 2mm and you've got 1mm. I think we'll have the thicker one on that one there. To put some on the back of him, I think. So we're going to have that flower there. We're going to have him here. So, right. Right, I'm gonna put this together with you so you can see how easy it is to go together. So when you cut the hibiscus out, you get all these separate petals as well. So you can do them two-tone if you want to. You can do them in different cardstocks. But all I'm going to do is use it so that I can raise some of them up. So I'm using 1mm foam, so it's not very much. I don't want it too bulky because obviously it's the card. So we'll take our centre, turn it over and add a little dot of glue on there. A little bit of glue, and then you've got the centre of the flower. So these are really easy to put together. So a nice 2mm foam pad on there. Okay, if we start stitching these bottom ones. Stem a little bit. I'm going to put you under there. Let's put you on first. Take the foam off these. And then our last leaf, I'm just going to trim a little bit off. Under there. Okay. There's that one. And then I've got my sentiment, so I'm just going to add some foam squares on this one. Tuck that in there. Just going to add this little flower I forgot about in there. And also I've got some opal gems that we're just going to stick on that one, and then these tiny ones stick in the centre of these. And there we go. There's our first finished card. Get the shaper. It stands up perfect. Okay, for our next project, you need a piece of classic white cardstock, which is 10.5 by 7.5. Okay, on the 10.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. 4, 5.5 and 9, and flip it to the 7.5 side, where you're going to score at 1.5, 5.5 and 6 3/4. Okay. You're going to end up with that. And we're going to fold and burnish and score lines. Okay, so with the 1/2 inch on this side here, what we're going to do is going to start trimming. So we're going to take that score line off and cut a wedge there. Keep this one straight and take a wedge. This one straight, take a wedge. Same with this one. So keep that straight. Wedge in there, and we're going to flip it round. We're going to cut this one off completely. So again, nice and straight on this top edge. Wedge. Straight on this one. And wedge. Well, everything's sticking to my scissors. That one nice and straight. Wedge. You can cut that one off. And last one, nice and straight. And that's the wedge. So that's what you end up with. Okay. So we're going to make a gift box, a matching gift box to go with our shaker card. So 1/2 inch tab we're going to glue. Fold that under and then fold that across, and that will meet perfectly. Okay. Decide which one you're going to want as your front. So they're going to be in, that's going to be our lid, and this is our base. So I think I'll have it that way round. So what I'm going to do is fold the base in first and glue on these tabs here, push them in, and then glue all over that one. And that'll give us a nice straight box. You can get your hand in and give it a press down. And that's going to be a little gift box. Okay, so I've grabbed some more breeze. I cut a panel which is 5.5 by 8.5 and embossed it. Okay, and then again we're just going to use some ink. We will add some more in a bit. Just go around the edges just to give it a bit of colour. Okay, right, now I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. What you need to do is we're going to cut this to 3 1/4. Keep that piece, and then we're going to start cutting our layers. So the top one needs to be 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Then we need 1 inch. And then we need 3 3/4. Don't need that piece. That's for the front. And then this piece for the sides, what you need to do is cut this to 1 1/4. And then 3 3/4. 1 and 3 3/4 again. That's 2. Don't need to trim any more. and you can start sticking these panels onto your box. I'm going to stick that in the centre. I'm just going to grab some Collal glue. I like this glue because you get a little bit more wiggle time, so you can actually get it on there square on there. Then we've got our 1-inch strip going on this piece, and then our 1/2-inch strip. To the top. Make sure that you've got equal all the way around, and then you've got your side panels. Making a really easy treat box. Okay. If you want to, you can emboss another piece and put it on the back if you want to. Entirely up to you. Okay. Then I'm going to grab my crocodile. Just grab my crop. If you haven't got a hole punch, you could use Velcro. You could put a peg on the top, so you have options. So I'm going to use the largest hole. I'm going to hold these two together and then just push it as far back as it will go, and then just punch. Same on the other side. As far as it will go, and punch, and then you get your nice little holes. Grab a piece of string, ribbon, whatever you've got. If you've got eyelets, obviously you can add eyelets to it, but you don't need to. Tie this up. There's your little gift box. And then to decorate the front, so you've got your card. All I did exactly the same again. So I'm just going to put some foam on the back. Put the Leese paper off. And then centre that on there, and there you go. So there you have your gift box and your matching card. So I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.
So fun.
I know. I love Sarah's card.
She's like, thanks for watching. I'm like, no, Sarah, thank you.
Yeah, and I love to see what you're doing every month. Like the first of the month, I love to go in and see.
That was a lot in the comments too. People are like, I just waiting for the first of the month to see Sarah's cards.
Me too. Me too.
So we did want to just briefly, before we, let Sarah go or whatever, hopefully she's still in the chat, we wanted to talk briefly about this little guy. We know you guys had a lot of fun with us during the Weekender, and we do have a small amount of boxes still left. So you definitely could use your coupon, I guess. Ooh,
yeah, you could.
Use that discount we have. We'll show that up in a second. But we wanted to just talk about the Weekender and the fact that Sarah took so many amazing products from the Weekender box. By the way, this is a whole box, a kit full of dies, embossing folders, rub-ons, so many fun things. And it also includes probably about 15 hours worth of live video that we guys did with the box.
And that's up
so you can go back and watch it as many times as you want. But Sarah took so many of the elements and did different things with them and combined them with clubs,
with core,
Weekender, core products, so many fun things. So we wanted to share a couple extra cards that we just pulled off with her permission off some of her social media channels and stuff. So Gavin, let's throw up a couple of those cards and we'll just get keep this ball rolling here. So here's one. So cute. You saw Yana use the pop can earlier.
There's
and
the
there it is
sun.
again with the sun Josie talked about. And the toucan is from the Weekender. So you can see again how everything mixes and matches.
And the flowers are from June.
So fun. So awesome card, Sarah. Absolutely love it. I think we have a couple more.
come
This
on.
is one of our favorites. So we've got our baggage. We had a really fun baggage collection called, what was it called? Just all the baggage. No. What is it?
We all have
We all have baggage. Good job. Good job. So that's where the suitcase came from. So you definitely can check that out still on the Spellbinders website.
Weekender back there as well. Those big leaves are from the Bird of Paradise from the Weekender, and some of the other leaves are from the large die from May with the flamingos.
Cute. So again, so clever, just mixing and matching all those things, and probably using a lot of the same techniques she just showed you, kind of for creating a box type of thing. And Sarah's so generous. She's also done a lot of videos, of course, showing how to assemble a lot of these different kind of creations. But
I think we have one more.
Super cute. Do we have one more maybe?
Yeah.
Oh, two
Oh,
more.
2 more.
Ooh, we're like, oh, we couldn't stop picking.
Yeah. So here's the suitcase again. There's the flamingos. There's the stamp and die, the hula girl, the torches.
Oh yeah, tiki torches.
You have
yeah.
the flowers.
So sweet.
So
Looks
again,
like some kind of fun stenciling. I'm not
just-
sure what that's about, but I love it.
Yeah, just all
So
mixed
cute.
together to create this fun card.
And it's like a wedding card.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I think I haven't said one more.
Oh, come on. This
Oh,
one has Sip
my
Sip.
favorite, I
Yeah, this
think.
one has Sip Sip Olay. It has the stencil from June. It has the tote bag from April. It has the toucan from the Weekender.
Yep.
And it also has, again, the Birds of Paradise leaves. And it also has some from the Pop of Summer from the can. You can see the umbrella and some of the fruit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
this.
love how she's done the stencil on the back,
I know.
too.
I love this
Like,
so
clever way
much.
to use the stencil.
Yeah. And I think you have all these products linked in the description, right? Yeah.
So, very, very, very fun. Excellent time to go shopping. Speaking of which, maybe we'll pop up that code one more time for the exclusive 20% off for you guys today only. You see the Club Along code there. And again, limited time. Check it out. There are restrictions. You can't, like we said, layer up your other club discounts, but check it out there. And again, you can screenshot this, read those terms and conditions. Otherwise, they will also be listed in other places, probably on the link or whatever. Cool. All the places. So before we let you go, we are going to have a little sneak peek, but we want to announce our winners for our gift certificate. So this is a store credit actually that gets put right into your store account right
It's
here.
probably already there.
Probably as clever as Skylar is. It's probably already there. So you
right.
want to do the first name?
Yeah. I'm going to do Beth Rogers.
Beth Rogers, yay! We're like, round of applause. And I will say Marta Costigan? Congratulations, Marta. Yay.
Yay.
And one more?
Heather, is it Brownlee or Brownlee?
Brownlee, maybe?
Brownlee.
I almost thought it was Brownie, and I was like, good name, Heather.
That's what I thought.
But it has an L in it, Brownlee.
I'm like, I'm hungry, Brownie.
Yeah, Brownie. So you all three got
Yes.
$25 store credits right in your account, so you can definitely use those to go shopping and get
Yeah.
all the fun things. Love, love, love. Okay, so do you want to do a little sneak peek? This will be a
Yes.
sneak peek for July clubs.
Yeah, so July,
And
we always...
what's our theme?
we always do Christmas in July.
Christmas in July.
And you guys can guess. Oop, there's a little sticky on there. I'm going to get that off his beard. So
Oh my gosh.
So you guys can guess large die, small die, and they have the little legs that move at the bottom here.
Oh, we call these our dancing people
Yeah.
sometimes. The little legs that can kind of.
It's hard to do it this way,
Yeah.
so it's hard for you guys to see, but their little legs move back and forth. And there's actually one extra little snake here.
Ooh, okay. I think I
So
see
you get two
it.
little sneak peeks for July.
So great, so colorful, and again, with the cardstock, it's just like coloring with
And
paper.
we've never done an elf for club.
No,
No,
we
and
haven't.
he's so cute.
No,
he's
he's
like
so
such
cute.
a cute elf with his
This
little
one's a
big
redhead.
ears. This is Kim. Kim Elf.
It might be. Oh my gosh. All right, so we want to remind you of one more thing. Again, before we let you go, you definitely want to check out that discount, but watch for all of our specials for the whole month of June. We've been having a lot of fun. Obviously, Yana talked about the Sir Spelly earlier, which was a die you can get with a gift with purchase. But June is like our birthday month.
Yeah, we're
kind of
23 years old.
23. We're like official adults now.
In craft years, how old is that?
Oh, good question.
Old.
So every week we've had a different special, and June is not over yet. So guys, definitely check out this week's special. Watch for some things coming up over the weekend, and we still have another week of June next week. So definitely always watch the website. Check in at spellbinderspaperarts.com, and that's where you're going to see, always in the homepage, you'll see all the latest and greatest,
And
for
we'll
sure.
see everybody again for the July unboxing.
Yeah, we'll do the July unboxing. Josie and I love to do that. You'll see the complete club of All Clubs crate on July 1st. That'll post. In the meantime, I hope you really enjoyed crafting both with May and with June clubs. And this is your reminder. Get those dies out. Craft with them. That's what we really want you to do.
And thanks to Yana and
Die
Sarah
cut them and get them going.
for joining us.
Yes, thanks to both of our guest designers. Yana's kind of our homegirl guest. And absolute kudos to Sarah. Thank you so much for joining, creating that great project. And as always, getting us creatively inspired month after month. So I think that wraps up all of our memos here. And I hope that you guys have fun crafting with your clubs, whether it's May, June, or July. As always, we always like to give you lots of inspiration. So have fun.
Crafting.
Happy crafting.
Bye.
See you next time.